So last night, I was late getting started on my treadmill, and the reason is simple: Payoneer sucks. So I've been fighting with trying to figure out how to make this work. So Wirecard went insolvent, and there's been, I guess, an arrest of the guy in charge of it, and there's some kind of really nasty. It sounds a lot like a Ponzi scheme going on here, where he was telling people he had money he didn't, and it's just a giant cash hole. I don't know if the money's all in his cash hole or which cash hole it's in, but anyways, and the reason that I was trying to do this is that so when I have a Patreon account, and I always had to go to PayPal, and then I had a flag on my PayPal account, and they're like, you have to prove you are who you say you are. So I'm like, all right, so I went through and I proved everything, and then they didn't like my proof. I'm like, really, seriously. So I just eventually gave up. I'm like, this is a loop, and if you get caught in it, what eventually happens is your PayPal, it can be locked, where your account is just, it's gone. And you go, oh, okay, so I can't get into my PayPal account. Cool, and there's money in there. So I decided, you know what? I won't worry about the PayPal thing. I'll use Payoneer, because Patreon says use Payoneer. Payoneer's great service. And Payoneer, I looked at their site, I looked at reviews, and I'm like, all right, so it sounds like this is another good e-commerce kind of thing, and you can send money in, send money out. I could maybe send it to my bank account. And it gave me whatever error with the bank account number, and then I looked and they had a credit card, and I thought, okay, well, a prepaid credit card, well, your fees are going to be probably crap. Having a prepaid credit card, and I could just give that to Yvonne, and then that way, and I've said this on Patreon, I'll say it again here. The Patreon money that is generated goes straight to her. She uses it for her fabric, for masks, for food, for groceries. It's been a great, calming influence on things during a pandemic. Well, with Wirecard going insolvent, it means that all that money's locked. Yeah. So she tried using the card a couple of times yesterday and it didn't work. Now that's not all that unusual. This card, sometimes places take it, sometimes it don't. They don't. It's a prepaid credit card. This is how that works. But it says Mastercard all over it, and so I'm like, oh, prepaid Mastercard, sure, all right. Now what I didn't know was it was from Wirecard, and none of us that I know, I could see anyways on their tweet, knew about Wirecard and what Wirecard was. So they joined in August 2008 on Twitter. They have 44.3 thousand followers. They tweeted out a while ago. Let me get into one of their replies here. Kindly DM us for assistance. Hey there, if you need any assistance, please send us a private message. We'll be more than glad to assist you. If you need any assistance, kindly DM us for assistance. Private message us. No need to worry. Your card works as usual and your funds are safe. We have alternative providers and will contact you in the event that we need to move you. Huh? So what happened is Wirecard goes insolvent the day before the cards are frozen. The day before, we find out the money is frozen. Now, for people who don't know what Payoneer, how all that works, there are people who don't trust banks right now. And they're like, I don't trust a bank with my money. Why would I trust a bank? So you find these e-commerce solutions. You go, I'm going to give them my money. So I trust them. It's good and secure, and they promise us it's secure. There are people right now with their life savings with this company who've been told, well, no need to worry, your card works as usual, which was a lie. At the time they said this, that was a lie. The card was not working. And you could see by Wirecard going insolvent the day before, they needed to immediately send an email to everybody and go, get your money out. Get your money out now. They didn't do that. Now, maybe it was, well, they don't want to crash their site. I don't want to accuse them of being greedy because that would seem odd. But here's the weird part. So you go through this site, they send you a card from this company, and now we know they don't have any money. The money doesn't go to them, it goes to them. They just handle it for them. Now I understand that money with PayPal doesn't go to PayPal either, whatever. But that's a different situation completely too. this just reeks of incompetence. So the interesting thing is they haven't said a word since 16 hours ago. They tweeted out, "We know there are concerns about the Wirecard news and how it impacts Payoneer cards. Impacts means they're all locked. Rest assured, Payoneer is strong, stable, and working to keep your funds protected. Working to keep your funds protected." The wording is interesting there. So, boat gonna sink? Yeah, we're trying not to sink. Are we sinking? Well, we're doing our best not to. I noticed the plane's kind of tilting a little bit. Is that supposed to tilt that way? Yeah, we're trying to stop that. I don't like how are we turning? Not supposed to be. But don't you worry, you're safe. The nose seems to be kind of tilting down a little bit. Yeah, we might be coming in for a landing. We're over the ocean. You might want to buckle up. Yeah, I've been trying to deposit cash in my account, but it is impossible. A really useless application. So, I contacted days ago and you confirmed funds were not in risk, but my Payoneer card stopped working today. So people were contacting them going, so do we have to worry? And Payoneer went, no, you guys are good. Don't you worry about a thing. Up until we found out for sure the cards were all completely locked. They were like, what's the problem? What's everybody complaining about? Now, I'm going to say this straight out. It's well over $1,000 that I've lost. But I'm not going to make any major complaints because I've moved everything back over to PayPal and I'm going through the process again of proving I am who I say I am. Let me make sure you're not going to... And they haven't locked my account yet either. So I've even had a couple of occasions where I've moved money through there over the last couple of months to make sure it still works. And so, you know, I've learned a lesson here. It's a very expensive lesson. I don't think anybody's going to get their money back. I really don't. Because while people, the thing that's driving me nuts is anything that I've looked at about this, whether it's FCA talking about how an FCA is a British regulatory agency that shut down all the Wirecard and locked everything. They're saying your money should be safe. Nobody can say how long it's going to take for people to get their money back. Nobody can say to some elderly couple who've got their money in there, and that's all they have, how much longer it's going to take. For people who are doing what I was doing, that's your grocery money. That's your money that you have in case something happens. Or in the case of Yvonne and I, you know, we're trying to get our income taxes paid down as quickly as possible this year, which is a challenge during a pandemic. Because my income has taken a hit of about 50% from where it was last year. So since you're taxed on the year before, that means I'm being taxed, you know, on what I made last year. And I did have some savings there, yes. So people say, you should have had savings. I did have savings. That definitely helps. Definitely cuts down the amount that I owe. But it would be really nice if I had that more than $1,000, because that's part of the reason we were saving the money in there too. Like, hey, you know, Canadian taxes are expensive. But we got the money on the Payoneer card. We've got some money we can move around. Now we don't have the money on that Payoneer card. And nobody can tell us when we're getting it or if we're getting it. Because the other part is, people have noticed in the terms of service, there's all of a sudden, and I don't remember seeing it in there. Maybe it was in there the whole time. I don't know. But it says, in the event Wirecard becomes insolvent, your money's gone. Basically, that's digging through everything. It's, yeah, if Wirecard becomes insolvent, you lose all your money. Whoops. We don't have any liability for that. Now, you can argue, well, then that terms of service covers them. You can make that argument. You can make the argument that, well, no, that's how business works. But there's something underhanded about a company being contacted before the cards are locked and having customers ask them, should I take my money out? And they go, no. No, don't take your money out. Don't worry, everything's fine. And then after the cards are locked, saying, don't you worry about a thing. Everything's just fine. What are you worried about? And then coming out hours later and saying, yeah, your money might be gone. We're doing our best to make sure that you get some of it maybe back. I don't know. Maybe. Kinda. Sorta. Maybe. Do you read our terms of service? Because there's that line in there about you might lose all your money. So even though we've really propped ourselves up, and their website talks about how great they are, we may not actually have a plan. There may not be a plan. The thing about it too is this: like I don't have credit. When we went out and bought a van last month, well earlier this month actually. Feels like last month because what are days and weeks anymore, right? So we went out and we got a van and we got it for zero cash down, and it's what we needed, a brand new caravan. But I don't have credit, so because I don't have any credit at all, good or bad, we couldn't get a lease. So even though I make decent money online, I make better money than other people who get leases who have credit. I don't have credit. So this is why when people are like, why do you rent your house? Because I can't buy one. I can't get a mortgage. It's not a thing. So I've been trying to figure out a way to get, credit card. And I've been denied credit cards too because I'm self-employed. So it's like, well, who are we going to get the money from when you don't pay off your card? Well, I'm going to pay off the card. I don't know that you will though. So we want to have somebody we can go after if you don't pay your card. That's the way I see it anyways. So, the whole having a card is I do have a bank card. And again, I thought having that separated was nice. You have that separate fund. You don't even look at it. You don't see it. And then you use that for everything else. But, yeah. So back to PayPal for me. And I've started, applying for credit cards. And again, it's a matter of I make a payment immediately after. So basically, I buy something for $50 on the card. I pay the $50 that day. And it shows that I have good credit. So I'll start building that up because, boy, howdy. I just... It just sucks. So if I seemed for people who watch the hockey channel, if I seemed kind of haggard and like I didn't sleep very well last night, yeah, losing over $1,000 will do that to somebody. Where you're like, wow, I probably needed that money. But all right. It's near the end of the month. YouTube does pay out around like the last week of June. So I did get the YouTube payment earlier this week. If I didn't get the YouTube payment, if something happened with that, I would be in full panic mode. And I'd be contacting my landlord and going, so I can't pay you the rent this month. And, and that kind of stuff. But in general, for me, I feel really, really bad for some of the other stories I was reading with people who this was their cash. This was where their cash was. And again, they're all basically left going, what do we do now? And Payoneer's answer is, oh, it's safe. I'm going to take that from the same company that told me that this wasn't going to happen. Okie dokie. So, I'm recording this just in case there's other people with a Payoneer prepaid card that maybe they don't check Twitter. Maybe they don't think anything of it. They're like, well, the card hasn't worked for a day. I'll check it later. It's not going to work. It's garbage. And they're trying to find another provider. Well, how does that work? Because if the money's locked in one location, how do you move it to another location? I hope we have answers soon. And by soon, I mean in the next 48 hours. Because if this company is doing anything other than trying to fix this right now, I mean anything. I mean ordering coffee. I mean anything other than trying to fix this, then my statement on the board stands. They suck. And there you go. The statement of what's gone on with me over the last 24 hours, and it's just a real kick in the nuts when you don't need one. So, again, and people have pointed this out in their Twitter post, like, there's a pandemic going on, and now you've taken all our money. And you won't tell us what's going on with it. And the fact, too, that since that post, 16 hours ago, according to my phone right now, they haven't said a word. Nothing. It's shocking. Because before that, they were telling people, PM us, let us know, DM us. And they didn't answer any DMs from what I was seeing. People are like, wait, I did DM you and you didn't answer me. So what's going on? Doesn't look very good. It's a bad look. So, always buyer beware. And in this case, yeah. All right. Banks are good. My bank's never screwed me over. I've banked with Toronto Dominion for many years. They've never screwed me over, not once. Um, banking fees are relatively high considering what you get, what you're doing. But you know what? Compared to this, at least it's stable. Until next time, thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. And if you're watching this and you're affected by this, I really hope you get your money soon, because this is affecting people's lives right now. And the fact the company didn't give anybody a heads up. Like, Wirecard is just sleaze. Like, clearly this was just an absolute Ponzi scheme of some sort. I use that term because just from what I was reading on the site, I'm like, all right, so they were telling people they had money that they didn't. They're just taking in money, and where that money's going, who knows? But they don't actually have it. So, Ponzi scheme. And those suck. But it is what it is. Even in 2020, they still exist. But again, I hope everybody does end up getting their money. And again, Payoneer, they got to do something here. Because otherwise, here's the thing. Even if it's in the terms of service, oh, that's an in-terms service, you're done. You're done. You're done. We've canceled companies for far less than this, and nobody will give money to Payoneer again. I will never put a cent into anything related to Payoneer again. Ever. After this, it's done. I'm never giving them money again. It will never happen again. It's finished. Thank you guys so much for watching and for all your support. And again, I record this not for myself, but because this is affecting a lot of people, and they kind of suck. Thanks again for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.